like to go camping with your dog and you find in some of the cooler temperatures that maybe they're a little cooler, or you have a short-haired breed. My dog has a pretty significant undercoat in her, so that's usually not a problem. But if we do go out, I still want to make sure she's warm. We're going on a hike in about a week on the Superior Hiking Trail, and the temperature's supposed to get down to low single digit Celsius, 1, 2, 3 degrees, and it's my experience that she's kind of cold at night. Now, what I have been using in the past is I've been using a Ranger blanket with her, which isn't too bad, but it is a little bit heavier. And one of the things I made about a year ago from when we went out is this sleeping mat. It's about 36 inches by 28 inches, so 3 feet by 2 feet. And it's got 2 pieces of insulation as well as a Reflectix type insulation in there. It's got a Cordura bottom and a fleece top that's quilted onto it. And it works really well. She actually uses it. It's easy for me to take off and put out when we're just sitting around for a break. And she got a nice area that's warm off the ground to lie on. And if it does get wet, it'll dry out fairly quickly. It's all synthetic, so there's nothing that's going to get damaged. So back when I made my tarp, I ordered some 1.9 ounce Ripstop nylon from Ripstop by the roll. And I picked up locally here some insulation that we're going to use. So I've got 3 meters of nylon here, and along with about 4 feet of zipper, a little bit of webbing for the stuff sack that I'm going to make to go along with it. I have some snaps, I have my tape measure, I have my thread. So let's make a sleeping bag for the puppy. Taking a look at what I'm going to do, essentially, I'm starting with the same pattern that I used when I made the base sleeping pad. So we'll start with an oval. I'm going to cut out one bottom and a top. And the top, of course, will be 2 sides. So I'm going to cut out 4 pieces of nylon that are about that shape. Secondly, I'm going to plan to put a draft stop on the inside down to about here. I'm going to attach it along the side here, and I will put a zipper along the side here as well. I may put a snap, like a tab for a snap here, but we'll see how that ends up. This part, this piece, will actually be stitched back more on a curve like this, so that there's an open area at the top. That's the plan. Now let's see what we can actually come up with. So in about an hour here, we've managed to been able to cut out all the pieces we need for the major parts. We still have to add a draft tube and make a tab for a closure. So we've got two liners for the bottom with a layer of insulation. We have the top liner with a piece of insulation that we will stitch to the top of it with the lines, the baffles more or less running horizontal stitching on there, and then we have some vertical stitching on the inner. One will be the inner, one will be the outer, and this one of course is the bottom piece, and then they will sandwich together on the side and a zipper around the other end. So for a seam allowance, we'll trim off some of the insulation down about half an inch. So what we've done is we have taken our one side of each of our liners and some of our quilting And as you can see, we've stitched them together to create some like baffles, just to help hold the insulation in place. And we'll be putting together the two liners, this being the bottom here, the two pieces in the insulation, as well as the two top pieces. We're going to put them together inside out. Before we do that, we have to create the piece that's going to bind the two together and decide where our zippers are going to go so that the zippers are the correct way on this this piece. So that's next, to figure that out. There's no pattern on this, so I'm kind of figuring it out as I go along. Okay, so we have them laid over top of each other a little bit here. This is our bottom pieces. This is the top piece. And this is the zipper. So we want the zipper to not come any closer than the top here. So we kind of mark roughly where I'm going to want it to go. I'm just putting this here now to hold that on there. And I just lay the zipper down around the bottom here. And it's going to come up at least about this far up the side here, past the curve, so that it can open up and lie flat. So now that I've got that, I'll make a few marks on here. So now that all the pieces are together and these two the pieces will join, what I'm going to end up with is, let's see if you can see it a little more clearly here. What I'm going to end up with is, this will show better. What I'm going to end up with is essentially the two halves, the top and the bottom, and they're going to be joined in the center. And it's this piece here that's these two pieces. That way I can sew one side complete, sew them together, so I have the two halves. Then I can lay them on top of each other, inside out, and then stitch all the way around so I have a nice edge all the way, leaving a small part somewhere along here that I'll fold it all, probably along through one of these seams, that I'll fold it all in and out through, and then top sew it through there so that it creates makes it look as professional as I can. So now we've got our zipper put together. As you can see, I added a zipper stop to the end here, as well as zipper stops to the end up to the top part here as well. Little stops in the zipper. So zipper will run like this on the bottom, this part on the top, all the way around. Kind of like that. So now what we're going to do is we'll take all the various individual pieces we have and try to pin them together to make sure that it's all going to fit and where it's going to go, and then we'll start putting it together. So as you can see, we've stitched one bottom to the top here. We've done one. Here's the other piece here, stitched together, and we'll take them over and we'll sew them up. So we've got the two pieces sewn here. As you can see now on the inside here, it's starting to look more like a sleeping bag with the tube in the center. So now we have to pin in the zipper in place and pin the two halves together with the good sides facing each other, so that when we kind of go around the top here and stitch them together, we'll have and turn them inside out, we end up with a nice finished hem. There's no question this would have been a lot easier if I wouldn't have tried to put a zipper in it, but I seem to always like to give myself a little extra challenge. The original plans for this basically would have, if I zip this thing together here, around the outside, stitch it together, I'd be done. Unfortunately, I decided to try to make it a little more difficult for myself, so now I got to put that zipper in there. So here's the bag. Now we've got it here. It's been sewed all the way from here, all the way around on this side. The part that I left open is here, and this is the part we'll turn it inside out with. There you go. The zipper's on it here, all the way along. Zipper will close up this end here, just to make it a little neater. Just got to close up here. So right now it's just open. And the only thing I'm going to have to do is I'll undo this. I think I'll replace my zipper tab because I got the zipper tab on the inside. So I'll pop that off, put a new one on so it goes the right way. Got a couple minor changes I got to fix. One of the spots up here, I missed the seam, so I'm going to have to go back in. I'll re-sew it over, kind of close it up a bit more. But and then sew along the top, put some piping on here. But there we go. There we go. Just I'll show you the final version right away, but that's what I have to finish up. Not bad. Hopefully she likes it. She'll probably sleep on top of it, or she probably won't use it. That's dogs for you. So we're all done here with the sleeping bag. Completely got it done, and this, of course, as I showed you at the start, that's the base part for it. Here is the sleeping bag, and she can curl up inside here. We did try to get her in it earlier upstairs. She'll get in there. It's big enough for her. But it's designed so that the dog can curl up inside, you know, when they sleep in a ball as a more often than not. It's their natural sleeping position. So I'll show you a little bit closer look at this here. So you can see this is the size of it here. Overall we are about 36 inches long, and we are 26 inches wide. You can see 26 inches wide. It's got a bit of a side part here that kind of gives it a little bit more loft. Kind of comes around the side here. See where the zipper's attached all the way. Added a little bit of night ice cord on here to kind of grip it a little better. Had some problems with the way the zipper piece was here on the top. That I would definitely do different, but I just kind of fixed it up by putting like a little patch over it here and trimming it down. Turned everything inside out through a small spot in the center here that I left open, and then just top stitched around here. Of course, if your dog doesn't like it as a sleeping bag, it can always be laid right over top of her like a blanket too. This just can be laid on top, or vice versa. The whole thing can be used as a blanket if they really don't like it, and then they have some sort of blanket. So at least there's some use out of it both ways. But if it's a cool night, I'm sure dogs like warmth. They'll adapt to it. So here you can see the top zipper sewn on just with this flap, insulated through here. Zipper, there's that channel piece through there, and then the bottom zipper is stitched just right in between the two layers on the bottom, and all the way around. And the zipper goes up into here. I had to finish off the edges. The zipper actually goes up. The zipper's about this long, but I stitched off the ends here just to kind of close it down, keep it from having a hole through. There's a little hole through here. I think I'll probably have to fix that here. Stick my finger in there. We'll close that up. But other than that, it's done. Just got to make a stuff sack for it. Make a stuff sack for this. Oh, there's another little flaw here. That's a flaw. It shouldn't be there. Oh, well, that one I don't think I can fix. I might be able to fix that. It's going to be hard. Okay. So I got a couple of little flaws. But, I don't know. Not bad for a first attempt, I guess. Definitely, like I said earlier, if I was to do this again, I certainly wouldn't, I think I'd omit the zipper, just make it simple. Most of the time I see they get buttons or something to put it together with. Anyways, that's a sleeping bag for a dog.